but I've never done both with another guest, which is pretty exciting.
Ta-da!
Welcome to our first live with Academy Athletes. I'm joined by Denise Wilson, and we are going live. I'm just going to send you a request on Insta. We're going live on Insta and Facebook at the same time. So
that is why I'm looking at my Insta, doing all the things I tell people not to do in communications, managing multiple things. Give it a crack.
Multiple things. I can't. Here we go, Denise. Let's find you. It's not coming up. Den Will.
That's me.
Why are you not coming up? It's Den_Will, isn't it?
Yes. I say in my business voice.
Funny. No, you're not coming up. You might have to join me. You might have to find it and join. All righty. Well, yeah, we can do this. We can multitask. We've got Insta happening and we've got Facebook happening. But when you join me on Insta, well, I'll start asking you questions about your Ultraman nutrition, but I would love for you to share, what you're up to and what you've been working on, if you can get it happening.
Oh, I can talk and do things, Taryn. That is not the issue. Not coming up on Insta just yet. I'm in the dietitian approved chat.
I would jump onto your home and see if I'm a little live circle at the front.
Okay.
And then you can join my live and then we could do things together. It's pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So this is the first time I've ever gone live with another person on Insta and Facebook. So you'll have to bear with us. But Denise is up for swimming in the deep end, right? Wetsuit optional. She's pretty tech savvy. You can add this to TV.
I'm 60 next year. I can wear my wetsuit to anything I like.
Really? Is that the rules?
Yeah, that's actually the Try Australia rule. If you're 60, you can always wear your wetsuit. I don't know that that's such a big advantage, but anyway, it's nice to know it's there, isn't it? Really?
Funny. I don't know why you're not coming up on Insta.
No, me neither.
I'm having a conversation with Denise on Facebook, but it is not working on Insta. Got no request to join. I can't even invite you. It doesn't come up. Den_Will. So we might pull the pin on Insta.
Den_Will 19.
Yeah, but you're not even coming up.
No, it's not showing on my end either.
No. All right. We might can Facebook. I mean Insta. Sorry, everyone on Insta. Jump over to Facebook if you want to hear about Denise's Ultraman journey.
Otherwise, just get in touch with me. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Okay, deal. All right, bye Insta. That didn't work. Not sure what's going on there. All right, scrap that. We'll do Facebook only.
Oh, good.
Share. No, I'll deal with that later. Okay, so I invited you to join me live today to really just put you on a pedestal because you're awesome. But you've just come out the other side of the academy program. So you've just finished phase 3, a couple of months ago now, actually, about 3 months ago.
May. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of the awesome things that you've been working on after, a long career in endurance sport, long and prosperous, and then building towards Ultraman 2024. So, and you just said to me before we jumped online that you're in a bit of a off season. This is a not much training load, which is good. It's nice to have that periodized approach to our training. So is there anything then that you're doing differently with your nutrition now compared to what you were doing like 3 months ago when you were in training, or where you know that you've got to go for Ultraman training in 3 to 6 months?
Yes. So I think the big question was, I did Ironman Port Macquarie, which is my hometown, and I did it for fun. It was a fun day out. It was a super day out, but I realized at the end of that, having done Ultraman the year before, I actually just needed some downtime. And even though my mind says I like long distances, my mind and partly my body, but more my mind, just needed 12 months off. So what that actually means for me is that Ultraman's now moved out to 2024 because my build for that would have been September, and that was stressing me in May. So I just needed to make the grown-up decision about the things I'm meant to be doing for fun and move it. The corollary of that decision was what I learned through the academy helped me shift some goals, because the academy talks about the light, medium, and hard day plate. And with Ultraman training, I was eating the hard day plate 4 or 5 times a week and the medium day plate. After Ironman, I just gave myself a break from everything for a month and didn't sort of think about things too much. And for those who know me, I'm still doing a lot of stuff and I'm still being very conscious of food choices, but far more overall relaxed about that than I am publicly, just thinking private thoughts about what I want to do next.
Yeah.
And I really realised one of the goals that I've had for a while is about body composition. And I've been doing endurance sport for nearly 20 years now. And along with that, family, business, all those good things. And I really needed to give my training hours a break so I could back focus on body composition. So I am back to eating the lighter plate more days of the week and the medium plate some days of the week and the heavier plate if I'm on holidays or out or doing whatever. And so living life, living Denise normal life. So I think that's been a real gift that usually I come off Ironman, bang, bang, bang into a whole lot of things, but I really have given myself 12 months to regroup, to get my nutrition back in the swing of a normal athlete with normal training hours and drop some body fat, and that'll make me much stronger for Ultraman and chasing those Ultraman times.
Yeah, cool. So you shifted your nutrition down for off-season, bit of a shift in focus. When do you start your training build then for 2024?
So I won't go back to a training build until really it's August next year. I'm doing a bunch of events that will lead to World Multisports in Townsville, including a long course race, which is not quite Ironman distance, but a little bit less. So for me, it's a different type of training and it's less hours, more time in the gym, which I love. So shifted how I'm eating in my day and my week a little bit. And still it's around training times. But when I say lower carbs, plenty of carbs to support training, but I'm supporting 45 minutes in the gym, not 7 hours on the bike followed by a run.
Yeah.
I know.
Stark contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's taken a few months to get the rhythm.
Yep. And so thinking about life and nutrition before the academy program, what are some of the biggest changes that you've made over the 9 months that kind of just shaken up what you were doing or even just the way you think about nutrition?
I was a low carb, low fat athlete. I'm not sure that is actually a sentence, but really I ate such little carbs and I ate very low fat. I was very conscious of just ate protein. I was conscious of what I was eating. I just ate protein and coffee, basically. Not quite. Almost, actually. So the academy showed me the differences between a light, medium, and heavy plate. The importance of recovery, which I skipped on, not because I actually didn't want to eat or thought it would make me fat, but I just didn't plan into my day. So the recovery became really important and really respecting the amount of training I was doing, broadly speaking, on a Friday morning, Saturday and Sunday, because they were my main big training days, and eating around training sessions to make sure I was good for work and I was good for the other things that Ian and I, and when I say kids, they're in their 20s, were doing. So happy to be with family, happy to be with friends, those sorts of things.
Okay. And how many cups of coffee are you having a day now, Denise?
Way too many, Taryn. This is the hotel in Sydney that I'm in for work right now. And the hotel machine doesn't come with that much coffee, so slightly less than I was. But, yep, way too much. 2025 goals, maybe.
Funny, because the coffee is one of the things that we do talk about in the academy program. We talk about caffeine as a performance enhancing aid, but we also talk about caffeine or the tannins in tea and coffee as something that does block our iron absorption. And I think I can't remember exactly, but were you having about 16 coffees a day or something like that? It was like,
look,
it was a lot.
16 such a big
It
number.
sounds big.
Yes. Yeah. In my peak training and my peak working times, it would have been hitting 16 pods of Nespresso. There's none on the shelves in Port Macquarie. I would probably have 6 or 7 now, which is about the range of normal for me. I've certainly become more aware of it and more aware of when I have the coffee. But yep, it's one of my life pleasures, and yeah, that's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Coffee is life. I'm not taking it away from you.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, in the scheme of my life, if there's a vice that someone wants to get me on, there's plenty of others. Coffee would be the food or the drink vice.
Yeah, like it's all those side things that I think happen as part of the program too, like that, you know, that is a huge shift that you probably didn't even really stop to think about what you achieved in that space. Like I'm always going to challenge you when it comes to nutrition and maybe ask you to do things you don't want to do, but you've done it and now you understand why, which is really powerful, I think, because that's more long-term sustainable behavior change than it is just like, she told me to do this and I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to do it. But that's like less than half. Like that is huge. You should really actually celebrate that, but not with a coffee.
Not with a coffee. With a glass of water. What I would say is actually huge for me doing the academy was I've always struggled around mind, space, and food. I'm very much a control person around food, and it can make me very anxious when I go out to eat and I don't know what's going to be there. It can make me very anxious. I am very anxious, not the foods make me anxious. I am anxious. And the academy was great because when I took the time to work through the training and food plans with you around leading into my racing season, I knew what I could have and we had plenty of options. And I'm actually quite a same eater, and you really encouraged me to go a bit broader, which I did, like a tad broader. And so that was really good. But the power for me was after Ironman, I had a break from a lot of things, and I just didn't get stressed around food. And I gave myself a month to just say, just be a normal person, and then to rethink about goals and about food goals. And once again, it was actually quite easy for me because I could go back to the light plate and look at my training and look at some of those early podcasts, which I listened to again and thought, okay, that's what I need to do. And you said something really interesting in the academy, or maybe one of our one-on-ones. You said, I actually understood enough to take ownership of the food plan this time around. It wasn't something that was handed to me and say, go and do. And that was a really good thing, to understand the why behind things.
Yeah, that's really powerful, isn't it? Because I think that is really important, again, for long-term change. A lot of the work I've done in the past as well is like, here's your plan, go and do it, you know, and then keeping people on track. But in the academy program, I'm really passionate about getting you to understand why, and, you know, some of the science behind why we do it. And then I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan for how to do that for you specifically as an individual, because we're all different. We can't blanket approach nutrition. But then when you understand the nuances of why and then how to do that for yourself, then you are like independent with that. So as a program, it is a bit of a beast. It goes for 9 months, but it is really like the last diet you'll ever need, because it'll set you up forever, because you can be independent and accountable to yourself for that without having to rely on booking in an appointment and having someone like write a plan, and then you have a plan, and then if you want to change it, you're like, I don't know how to change it because, I don't know, I'm going away for the weekend, so what do I do now?
Yeah. And I think too, because I've been doing some short course racing, which I haven't done for 10 years maybe, I could dive back in, and I pulled out the sprint plan and applied that to the dualathon, and that's been really good to go back and say, okay, what's actually real? And, you know, you talk about in a sprint race, well, it is a sprint, so you actually don't need to be doing all these other things before the sprint race, which is different to the standard. So it's been great just to dive back into that and recheck what I thought was in my head, but probably wasn't paying a lot of attention to all that sprint stuff because I didn't think I'd need it. And now I absolutely need it. So I begin to understand, don't stay in T1, T2 too long, those sorts of things. So I think that's been really handy to go back in and pull those things out.
Yeah, cool. There is some people watching. If anyone does want to ask Denise any questions, I don't feel like it's just us. Feel free to chime in and ask away. Denise is very open to talking all things, really.
Yes, yes, including my coffee habits.
Yeah, funny. And you can find her on Insta. What is DEN_Will19? Although I can't connect with you today for some random reason, which has never happened before.
No, not at all.
And so when it comes to Ultraman, how do you do that? For a lot of people, they're like, man, Denise, you're crazy. That is so much exercise. That's so a huge event. How do you go from working full time, having a family, and then build into that and absorb that Ironman, Ultraman training? How do you fit all of that in? How do you juggle all those balls?
Well, the first thing is my family are grown up, so they're 22 and 24, and we still do lots of stuff together. However, I'm not raising a family, so I have my evenings and my weekends free, and there's no way, personally, I would have contemplated that when they were even at school. And my husband and I have always shared family and shared house, and we both run the business. So just to put it out there for working mums of children under 18, I wouldn't have done Ultraman. You may be able to, and lots of women do, and lots of dads do, and that's super, but that's not me. It was the decision I made, and I think because I kept coming back to it was a decision I made. If you read my athletic CV and that race, it would look a bit crazy because I'm not at the pointy end of age groupers ever. I'm at the middle to the back of the end of age groupers. Just need to say that. So you can do crazy things, absolutely then. It was something that it was a big goal that I really engaged with. I love big goals. And I guess several years of COVID and not having so many other things to do, it was a great goal for that point in time. And I love the big distance. I love the big numbers. I get really excited about how far I can go, what I can achieve that way. And I had an awesome Sydney crew and an awesome Port Macquarie crew who were really behind me. I think it's now that I'm not doing that training, I realised it just also does occupy your waking thoughts day and night. But always it was my choice. And if I'd walked away from that goal, that was my choice. It's not like other people face things, they're raising or caring for someone full time, or they're facing a very stressful work occupation. Many people don't have the gift of choice and the privilege of choice. So often it would come back down to that. For me, this was a choice thing that I got to do. Wasn't I lucky?
Yeah, you are lucky. You live a pretty cool life, Denise.
Yeah, I am lucky. I am very fortunate.
Yeah. And what are you planning on doing differently with your race nutrition this time? You did your first Ultraman before the academy.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what are you going to do differently this time?
Oh, might eat some carbohydrate. Just putting it out there, Taryn. Just funny about that. Let's have some carbs. Let's have some carbs. I would increase my recovery, even though for someone who didn't know very much about recovery nutrition, I think I actually got that pretty well. So I would continue to prioritize my recovery. I would increase my pre-training carbohydrates. I was so low on that I don't even want to, I was so low on that. I was probably 20% of where now I realize 100% would be. So I would increase that, and I would have a much wider variety of carbohydrate-based food to eat on my long training days. And that's a little bit trickier because in the end you're training by yourself. I'd have someone meet me somewhere, but you've got slightly less options. Ian is out on the motorcycle when I train, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I do. He actually makes it on the motorcycle. I know. How good, how lucky am I? I must be an awesome person to be married to. What can I say? But during the long training days, I would definitely have more options around carbohydrate-based food. Yeah.
Okay.
Have a
So
plan.
summary is more carbs. Yep.
More carbs, have a plan, more variety.
Okay. And I
More
think
carbs.
you'll really feel different doing that. Like, yes, you had a lot of like nutrition in the event, but it was a lower carb product.
Yes.
And yeah, guts didn't go so well with that. But that's really common for that product. I'm not going to like poo-poo any products online here right now, but as a like brand, it's not great for us as triathletes. And that's something that we do talk about in the academy a lot, is like, these are the products that have got what you need in them for this reason. And so, you know, invest your money in those sorts of things. And I have no alliance with any product, and I never will. Versus, you know, this product it's got this stuff in it, but that's not actually what we need. And so don't waste your money down that route.
No. And I think too, I would not assume I actually still understand about the products and the makeup and the timing. So, you know, I'll book back in with you when those things start to reach a peak training time for me again, and look at my body then, because I'm going to be another 12 months older, and I'm going to be, I love saying this, I'm going to be in my 60s doing crazy stuff. So,
so cool.
I'm an older athlete, and I'm an older female athlete, and that's going to be, I'm presuming, some level of difference between now and then. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be too much, though. You don't cross the 60 threshold and suddenly be a different person, but it's pretty cool achievement.
Not at all. It just gets better. But it, you know, something else might be different. There might be some different products out there, some different science that I'm so not interested in, but I'm interested in the top 5 dot points from you and understanding about that.
Yep, that's my superpower, translating that into something that is practical for you to actually implement.
Yeah, and so there will be those elements, and maybe my life will be different, because next time around for Ultraman training, I won't work full time. I'll manage the business part time. So there will be some differences around how my days look and feel, and how that training looks and feels.
Yeah, that'll be a huge shift as well, because you're starting to wind down from now-ish, is that right, or September?
September, good memory. That was the plan. However, given I'm not doing Ultraman in 2024, I've delayed that for a while. But given I'll go back in 2025.
Will you ever retire?
Will I ever retire? It's an interesting question. My father, healthy man, passed away last year at 91, and his last 3 weeks were spent in bed, and he did say he wanted to go when he wasn't mobile. So I'm appreciating that. I always hope I can keep moving. I'm respectful of that type of movement will change.
Yeah. And work? Are you ever going to retire from working?
Oh, sorry. Wrong. Tell you what I'm passionate about, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
No, I think that work will continue to transition. Katie's got another few years of uni left. But no, I enjoy work, and I enjoy the professional people that I deal with, and the way my life intersects with different people. So I can see that I'll keep going for a while, and that style of work and how much I work may ebb and flow as well too.
Yeah, cool. Good answer. I can't imagine you doing nothing. Like, you'll always do something, whether that's sitting on a board or, you know, doing some community work or something too. Like, you're not the type of person that would become a gardener or something. I don't know. What do people do in retirement? Gardening?
Well, they do lots of really important things, and their lives intersect with people in different ways. That's not the space that I'm in right now. Whether that changes in 5 or 10 years, it might do. But no, cool. I'm not about to not do some form of work.
Yep. And always movement, which I love. That I will always be the same as that too.
Yes.
So for anybody that is watching live or watching the replay, do you have any advice for somebody that's kind of sitting on the fence this week and looking at the academy but not really sure if it's a good fit for them or not?
Do it. I respect. My advice is quite directional, isn't it? Do it.
I love it.
Send me any questions. I appreciate for many people it's quite a significant investment. It saved me a lot of time and energy and effort and stress. And if you want to look, I found the value was there, absolutely. If you want to look at the numbers, and I respect people are on a budget, then I can assure you that all the things I didn't buy and all the appointments I didn't make, probably, I didn't do the numbers, might have come up to what I might have spent on the academy. And I got so much out of stage 3. I got heaps from stage 1, bits from stage 2, and so much from stage 3. So I actually found moving through the program was really worthwhile. And if you're still on the edge, jump on and have a look at a few podcasts, and maybe Taryn can put them in the notes. But the one with Renee Ingham was the game changer for me. There's one around protein powders, and there's one about body scans. And because they were all things that I either didn't know about or might have spent my money on, they were the game changers just in terms of learning for me.
Yeah, amazing. Everyone kind of resonates with different episodes. I love hearing what people have enjoyed listening to or what they get from it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've dropped the link on the page here, but dietitianapproved.com/academy. Denise says just do it, which I love.
Not very helpful. Yes, please.
Yeah. I'm very like no BS and quite direct too, but always wrapped in a warm hug and a smile, right?
And I was always on the academy calls. Actually, that's what I need to say. I was always on the academy calls and got so much personal time every week that really helped me change some very long-term ingrained habits.
Nice. Yeah, that's our power hour sessions where I jump on live with everyone in that phase for the week. We jump on Zoom, like everybody's kind of unmuted, cameras on. It's informally formal, like it's casual. We have a discussion, and that helps me really get to know you and understand you. And then it helps me to really individualize your nutrition. I think that's really important, because that's one of the questions I get asked a lot is like, how do you help me? Because I'm a special unicorn and I'm me in a group program. But Denise can probably attest to, I do know everyone and what events you're doing and what you're trying to achieve, because that is how I apply and help you apply nutrition specifically to you, because there's no blanket. There's no like one size fits all with nutrition. Every masterclass that we do every week, I teach you why we do the things, which is really important, and then how to then apply that to you and your specific needs. Like these are the numbers based on this, or if this is a situation, this is what you would do. If this is a situation, this is what you would do. And we talk about that and talk that through in Power Hour, just to make sure you're not confused, you're not stuck, and any extra individual direction that I can give you, we do that on those sessions. So they are very, very valuable. I actually didn't realize how valuable they were to people, but it's probably people's favorite part of the program is that. And we have a lot of fun too. Like it's not
I've missed them.
straighty.
That's the only thing I've missed. And I know I can jump on Fridays because you have a session then, but I've really been giving myself a full break. But yeah, and those times enabled me to really personalize what I was doing and the conversation. I walked away with plans written for different races and different training days from those power hours.
Yeah, amazing.
So it's very personal. It's not a group program.
We just learn together.
Yeah.
And there's lots of camaraderie in that too. Like I love watching each phase kind of flourish together, and there's a lot of banter going on in our community group at the moment. There's an in-joke about Vegemite, which I'm sure you've seen, which is funny. All the Americans are trying Vegemite for the first time. So you might see some funny reels with that included this week for Open Week. But doors are open now until Sunday morning my time. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, then it is Saturday afternoon, evening your time. dietitianapproved.com/academy is the link. You want to go and check that out. But thank you so much for joining me, Denise. We are sort of tech savvy. We've got one stream going on Facebook.
It's all good.
It's a learning curve.
Absolutely.
It's fun. But yeah, thank you for sharing your Ultraman story. I know a lot of people will get a lot out of that, and it is something that like anyone could do. You just need to get your nutrition right for that. And even you did it with not the greatest nutrition. So the body is an amazing, capable thing.
So is the mind.
So is the mind. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll be jumping on live every day this week with an academy athlete just to give them a bit of a leg up, because they're doing some pretty epic things. And I think that's really important for others to see, because we see so much of the pros and we try and emulate the pros and copy them, but they are really sort of dialing in their 1%ers. They've done all of their foundations, or most of them. Some of them are still pretty shit at it, but they are great people to look up to. But it's what us, regular people age groupers are doing that I think is really important to learn from, because we do fit a lot into our lives with work and training and family, and layering in nutrition is just often that missing link for people. So we'll jump in on live every day to share some of those stories with you. But thank you for joining me, Denise. Any questions,
Pleasure.
hit Denise up. And you can also pop any questions if you're watching the replay below this, and I'll catch that on Facebook later. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.